I kind of find it surprising that a lot of people were shocked or had a problem with Art and Patrick only having one kiss, and I feel like that was kind of the entire point. Okay, so maybe not the entire point of the movie, but I feel like that was a big part of the story, and let me kind of explain why. So the first time we, the audience, see them together as best friends was all the way in 2006 when they won their doubles match tournament thing, and the way that they reacted, like the way they were celebrating after they won, and it's obvious to us, the audience, that this is a very like there's so much romantic tension between the two of them, or sexual tension. Like some might argue that it's such a very strong bromance, but like I feel like a lot of people can obviously see that there's so much like love between the two of them, like romantic love. But then Tashi, she enters the picture, and they both have this attraction towards her. And I always say that in my opinion the two like switches within the movie are when Tashi is like introduced into their lives, and also when Tashi like breaks her knee. But like in this, I'm obviously like, focused on like Tashi's involvement with their relationship and how their dynamic changed. So she meets Art and Patrick, and they get to talking, and they talk about tennis, obviously. And I'll always find it interesting how, they were talking about her singles match that they watched earlier that day. And she talked about how her and her opponent, there was a moment like for 15 seconds that they were playing real tennis, and how they felt like they could understand each other, like they understood each other, and how they like it felt like they were in a relationship and in love. And obviously this is like very like kind of foreshadowing their challengers match 13 years later. And I love the hotel scene so much because it gives us so much information about Art and Patrick's relationship. And what's interesting about, this whole scene was Tashi, she saw that there was something between the two of them, because she asked them, "Hey, have you guys ever like, messed around with each other?" And also she knows that they're both like attracted to her, right? Cuz they invited her to their hotel room and, stuff like that. And she's like, well, I'm not a homewrecker, because like obviously she is kind of insinuating that they have something going on. And I just love how, that they're all kind of like kissing each other, but then Tashi, she pulls back, and then she leaves Art and Patrick to kiss. And I just find this very interesting because they are into it. They know that they're kissing each other and no longer Tashi. And I also find it interesting how like us they didn't pull away from each other, because they wanted that, but they didn't ever openly allow themselves to be like vulnerable with each other, because like they probably like were repressing their sexualities because of the homophobic society that 2006 was. I mean, it's still a very homophobic society, but obviously things were a lot worse back then, because in 2006, like the mid 2000s, gay was being used as an insult, and was being used for like if someone meant something was stupid, someone would say like, "Oh, that's gay." Like that was literally like the thing, and I literally remember that because I was like, what, around 6, 7, 8, 9, around that time. And I find it interesting because obviously like I said, they would never alone, the two guys, they would never allow themselves to be that vulnerable with each other. And I feel like the only reason why they were allowing themselves to do that with Tashi in the room was because Tashi was kind of like, I don't want to say making them do it, but was kind of like opening the door, and like they were accepting it, because maybe they were coming up with the excuse of, hey, Tashi, she's like kind of allowing us to do it. We're just all kind of like hanging out, and this is probably for her enjoyment, not for us, but for her. And I mean, that's just my kind of theory, but yeah. And I know there's so much fan fiction written about it, but after Tashi left the hotel room, this is my opinion now, this is my theory. I honestly believe that they didn't do anything after that experience, like after Tashi left, because like I said, I feel like they would never allow themselves to open that door, because Yeah, because I feel like with Tashi being there, it's like, oh, like we're doing this for her, but like if they were just the two of them alone, that would be them admitting that we have romantic feelings for each other. So that's the reason why they never kissed more than once in the movie. Because obviously, if they kiss more in the movie, that would be them revealing that they have feelings for each other. So I really do like a storytelling wise, I really do like how they never kiss more than once. And I feel like I really like how we don't know what happens after the Challenger event, because like did they admit their feelings for each other? Because what I loved about the last like few minutes of the movie was they were playing real tennis according to Tashi. And what I found like interesting like throughout all the years was there was so much mixed emotions between Art and Patrick, because obviously ever since Tashi's knee injury, Art and Patrick have not been in each other's lives. They have not been like talking. Like they used to be best friends, and now they're literally kind of like strangers to each other. They but then like Art, he goes over the net, and then Patrick catches him, and then they embrace and hug. And I feel like that was supposed to represent so many like feelings, like so much like I guess regret about all the things that happened in the past. They missed each other. They like loved each other, but like they would never like openly admit it. So I kind of like how we as the audience, we don't know exactly what happened after that. Like, did they become a throuple? Did they admit their feelings to each other? I don't know. That's for us to like interpret. So I just think this movie is genius. There's so much to talk about this movie. Like I always say, this is a very conversational movie, and like I literally have to see it again. I want to see it again. And yeah, I just fucking love this movie. It's so good. But all in all, that's the reason why they never like kissed more than once in the movie.